Hello and welcome to the SOFEA Sessions podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Smith, and today's guest is the lovely Jake Wilkinson. Jake started his journey at SOFEA nearly 8 years ago as a student and has worked his way up and is now a full-time employed staff member in our food redistribution operation. Jake has come on to share his story about how much SOFEA has positively impacted his life. Now, nearly 8 years on, Jake is wanting to give back to the SOFEA community through fundraising and raising awareness. If you would like to sponsor Jake, he's doing a walk in Windsor, and I will leave the link in the description below. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
Welcome to the SOFEA Sessions podcast.
Thank you.
It's like your first time being a guest, isn't it?
It's actually, yeah.
And you're not nervous, are you?
No.
Good.
I'm actually good.
So I think a good place to start would be to talk about who you are and what you do, if that's okay.
So my name is Jake and I am a goods and supervisor in the warehouse.
Amazing. So you're a staff member.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working at SOFEA?
I've been working at SOFEA for 8 years.
Blimey, is it 8 years?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, I'd like to start at the beginning of your journey before you kind of came to SOFEA in those sort of like later teenage years. What were you doing before you came to SOFEA?
So before I went to SOFEA, I was at Whitney College and I did future pathways because I wasn't sure what to do when I grow up. I enjoyed that, I enjoyed the people there, and it really helped me build my confidence with people. And then I went to City of Oxford College. I didn't make a lot of friendships. I made some, but I didn't make any really good, strong friendships until the second half.
Okay.
And then I got to know a few people from like the Didcot area, and it made me feel more relaxed and chilled. And then when that year finished, I was doing travel and tourism at the time. I struggled what to do, so I entered into doing an apprenticeship, and I didn't get any response from City of Oxford College. So I went back to Abingdon College, and they suggested coming here.
Amazing. So just from what you said about the kind of transition between your education settings, it sounds like that was maybe quite difficult from you going from one college to another, and you said that it was quite difficult for you to make friends at that time. Yeah. What do you think was able to kind of get you through that? Because that's a really big thing, like moving to a new college and having to meet new people.
What it was people actually coming to me and saying, would you like to come out with me? Would you like to join me in that? And I thought that was really, really nice of them.
Yeah, I can imagine, because when you start something new, particularly if you're going in on your own and not knowing anybody, that can be really anxiety provoking, can't it?
Yeah. So
then people were kind of approaching you and inviting you out, and amazing.
Yeah.
And just to kind of go back a little bit, what were you doing before you went to college?
I was at school. I was at KA's. I used to have like a lot of bad behaviour issues. I sometimes used to bully people, and I admit that, but some people used to bully me as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't enjoy that at all.
I think it's really brave of you to be open about that.
Yeah.
I think there's bullying as a subject is really complex, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's that kind of saying, hurt people.
Yeah.
And I think it's really brave of you to be open and vulnerable about that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So it doesn't sound like school was a very easy time for you.
No, but I think when I went to college, they said to me, don't do any bad behaviours. It's a bad reputation on yourself.
Yeah. So thinking about, you used the phrase bad behaviour. What do you think was like driving that at school?
People's attitude. When people have really bad attitudes on the days, it makes you feel a bit, I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
I can't do this.
So were you kind of clashing with like your peers and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that must have been tricky.
Yeah.
And then were things different for you then when you did go to college?
They were more friendlier.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some that were friendly and there were some that were nice. And the people that were friendly, I just said, I'll keep the friendly people.
Yeah.
But with the bad people, you just got to force your way around them, trying to answer them the polite questions and that.
Definitely. I think it sounds like, when we're, as humans, we're very sociable a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
But actually, choosing who we want surrounding us is really important, isn't it?
Yeah. I also didn't like wearing uniform.
Okay.
Wearing uniform, or it just said, oh, it makes you feel more professional. I'm like this. Well, you can be professional without wearing uniform. It's all right.
Yeah. So what do you think were the kind of cons, if you like, of having to wear a uniform?
The cons are people's attitude change. It made other people think that school is more of uniform and that. However, when you went into sixth form and that, you were not allowed to wear uniform, so it was not fair on the youngsters.
Okay, so there's what I'm hearing there is that there's an inconsistency.
There's an inconsistency, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And obviously, well, you don't have to wear a uniform now, do you, being at SOFEA, apart from your lovely fair share jacket?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So Abingdon and Whitney College recommended that you come to SOFEA.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts when they suggested that?
I was excited.
Were you?
Of like a new opportunity, something different, something out there.
Amazing. So tell us about your first couple of years at SOFEA then. What were you doing when you first arrived here?
So when I first arrived, I was a learner. When I first came in, I met Richard for the first time, and Richard was so calm. It just felt really relaxing because he was all open, friendly and nice. When he used to be the warehouse, so when he came in and showed me the place, I was wowed. I was in awe of it. And I absolutely loved it. And I loved the teachers there. The teachers were friendly. When I met Ruth, I thought, wow, she's probably the nicest teacher I've ever met, and I would never want to see a teacher.
That makes sense. So you sort of seemed like quite inspired by them when you first arrived?
Yeah.
So from what you've explained, it sounds like your initial impression as well was that it was a very different setup to college and a very different environment for you to be in. And the word that keeps coming up is that friendliness. That's something that sounds like it really works for you. Yeah, and that's great. So you spent a couple of years on our education programme. Were you kind of doing qualifications and that kind of thing? Yeah. How did you find that?
I found it really chilling because the people here were open, they were honest, they were vulnerable like me, so they were trying to open up with themselves, trying to make them go into work, make them confidence go up and up and up.
Amazing. So when you use the word vulnerable, you're referring to emotional vulnerability?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So you said that other people were also like that. So did you notice similarities between you and others?
And I noticed similarities between other people as well. So I'm very, very good at watching people.
Okay, cool. Well, observation is a great life skill, I think. Especially if you're doing it with like a therapeutic eye. Yeah. So thinking about like the word therapeutic, it sounds like you've kind of been on a bit of a therapeutic and, you know, almost like emotional journey through SOFEA. Yeah. So we'll kind of touch on kind of what you've learnt about yourself through that process maybe toward the end of this conversation, but I'm really intrigued as to what you did next.
So what was next was Richard sent out a job advert that says anything to the goods in or goods out, and I thought to myself, I'll try goods in supervisor because I feel more confident myself now. So I applied for it and I got accepted into the job. When I got into the job interview with it, I was nervous, but the thing was at the end, I'm apprehensive. I felt really confident in myself. And then as I went into the warehouse, I felt, right, I've got people around me I know I can trust. So I went in there with confidence, with ability to do all the stuff that the warehouse needs to do, and it was fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that must have been quite a transformative moment for you, getting that job.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting that you say, and actually really lovely to hear you say you went into an environment with people that you trusted.
Yeah.
And that impacted your confidence and therefore your ability to do the work. And yeah, that's really cool. So tell us more about kind of what that job involves. So goods in supervisor, what do you do?
When the food comes in, I would book it in and put it away. I either help with the picks if you're struggling with the picks, like make sure that the food is in date and they chill and make sure it's going out properly. And when people ask me for things, I always say, yeah, it's there, it makes it easier.
You are very known for that at SOFEA. I remember every time we kind of go in with our now young people, you know, the young people who are kind of where you were 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's if you can't find something, ask Jake. And don't you have a high vis that says something very cool on the back of it?
I have a high vis, but it's at the moment at home in the wash. And it says, if you're looking for something, come and find me.
Amazing.
Pretty simple.
Yes. And I love that because then people know where to turn to, you know, if they're new to it. Amazing. Yeah. So what do you like about your job?
The freedom. The freedom. And the way people are really relaxed with everything, it's really, really nice. However, when there's so much going on, you just got to say, right, let's step up and get all this done. Amazing. We're not wasting time.
So there's a real sense of like teamwork as well with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of teamwork at the moment going on.
Amazing. And so, like you were saying earlier, those kind of other younger staff members who have kind of been through the same therapeutic journey as you at SOFEA, you guys have now almost formed your own mini community and friendship group by the sounds of it, which is really lovely. Yeah. Amazing. And how do you think that impacts you kind of getting up and coming to work in the morning?
It makes me feel happy, it makes me feel more confident, and it makes me feel like, don't worry about, if people are grumpy with you, don't worry about it, it's just their own attitude. They have issues, we have issues, it's all right, it's fine.
And that mindset's really great as well, because I think, you know, we can be really influenced by other people's moods, and actually to be able to step back and go, I wonder if there's something going on for them that's making them react like that way, you know, just leave it, let it go, move on, do your job, stay connected, I think is a really great attitude to have at work. But I know from our discussions previously that actually this is more than just work for you, isn't it? Yeah, you're a huge part of the community, and the community is a huge part of you as well, isn't it? Yeah, amazing. So what else have you been involved in at SOFEA then, aside from your job?
So aside from my job, I've been trying to get my community more interested in SOFEA, which is a lot harder than I thought. So I'm trying to get, because I live in a village called Hanny, I'm trying to get my village to know what SOFEA is and what the impact it's having on the young kids, including me. Amazing.
So if anybody's listening from Hanny, this is a plea to please invest in the SOFEA community. Because our lovely Jake is here and he wants you to all be a part of it by the sounds of it, which is amazing. So what type of things have you been doing to try and engage your community in the work that SOFEA does, engage us in their community too?
So there's been a couple of things that's been happening. Firstly, and I've only just started it in November time, so there was a lady called Laura in my village who was doing like a fundraising bingo, and she was asking about donations and that, and I thought to myself, why not SOFEA do it? It would be a big impact. So when I first got her there, she really loved it. She really liked it. When I went to the event itself, there was not a lot of people that I knew, but I was hoping with that it would spark a bit more interest. But at the same time, Laura said, you're in education therapeutic side, and I'm like this, no we're not, we're totally different to that. We've got so many different projects going on, so many different things happening. And the reaction I got from them was surprised. They weren't really invested in it.
Okay. So it sounds like you've done a lot of work to try and invest them more. And actually you're right, when I think sometimes it's really difficult to explain what SOFEA does because it's quite complex now and it's so broad, isn't it? So I think it's great that part of your advocacy, if you like, is trying to explain to people the journey that you've had through SOFEA and how it helps other communities. I think that's really important. And also, more importantly, your part in that, because you've had a massive part to play in, you know, all of the community work and stuff like that, haven't you? Yeah. So aside from engaging the community, I know you've been doing some fundraising. Tell us about that.
Yes. So in April time, I'm doing a 50-mile fundraising walk in Windsor, and I am trying to raise as much money as possible. I've already hit my target, but I'm happy with more money coming in.
Amazing.
With the more money coming in, I think it'll be really good, because I think everyone here has really struggled with the flood issue and everything else. People are really missing it. So if I can raise as much money as possible, the more money will come in, and it'll make people happy.
Amazing. So what got you started with the fundraising? What made you want to kind of start doing that for SOFEA?
So last April, my dad and my sister did a 220-mile walk along Santiago de Compostela.
Wow.
And they raised over £1,000 for SOFEA, and I was like this, wow, you guys have done an amazing job.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is incredible. So they were your inspiration.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So aside, that's kind of why you got started, but why did you choose SOFEA as a fundraiser for?
Because SOFEA supported me so much. If it wasn't about SOFEA, I would have either stayed in college, or I would try and find a different avenue, like another apprenticeship somewhere. But it would be a struggle to find another workplace. However, if when I come to SOFEA, I feel like I am me. I am my own person.
That's amazing. And I also know you're very good at a little poem.
I am. I am very good at poems.
You do. Do you enjoy that, do you?
Yeah.
Amazing. I think it's a really cool way to express yourself, and also to express your thoughts about SOFEA and the feelings that you have for your community here.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing, and it certainly brightens up our day anyway.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're a ray of sunshine, and yeah, it's amazing to see your journey. I mean, how long have I been here? 6 years in October. So you were here 2 years before me.
Yeah.
But I remember on my first week at SOFEA, I had the tour, and I remember going around to the warehouse, and Richard and Ruth were introducing me to everybody, and I remember thinking, wow, as if these kids are running this warehouse. I say kids, I was only a couple of years older than you, but at the time I thought, wow, that's incredible. You know, these young people that have had such a tough time in school.
Yeah.
Challenge me on this if you feel like you need to, but I get the sense that when you were at college, you kind of didn't know what direction you wanted to take, or the direction that you wanted to take wasn't quite working out for you.
Yeah.
So then being able to kind of be signposted to SOFEA and then have a really clear pathway, and you were able to take up that opportunity and make the most of it, and now be really, successful in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And most importantly, be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just, amazing that you guys were running such a complex operation.
Yeah.
Like, it's really important work, what you're doing. Not just for helping people with the kind of food needs, but in terms of like the reducing the food waste and giving people a sense of purpose, and the way that you interact with the young people on our education programme when they come over and do their work experience and give back to their communities. It feels like it's almost like the cycle repeats itself. Yeah. And I think that's really great that you can use your lived experience to guide them into, having that sense of purpose like you do now, which is amazing. Cool. So I have a final question for you, if that's okay. I like to have a final question for all of my guests because it gets people thinking. It's short and sweet. Who is your biggest inspiration and why?
Well, my biggest inspiration is actually Ruth.
Ruth.
And there's 3 reasons why Ruth. Firstly, the way she's taught me and other young people through the struggles. It's been memorable because she's made everyone chuckle, she's made everyone laugh, she's made everyone feel relaxed. Secondly, she's given everyone the confidence to go out. She said to people, go on, go out, you can do it. Encouraging. She's very, very good at encouraging. And the final one is, whenever something bad happens, she's got that positive influence in her. She just keeps on going, and I can't fault her for anything that she's done, and that's why she's my biggest influencer.
Amazing. I'm sure she'll be so touched to hear that. Yeah. And also, just to reflect back to you, you've got that bit of energy. You know, you've got that high positive energy that when things are really difficult, we really need it. You know, when we were flooded, it was so awful for everybody. Yeah. And your poems and your joy kept everybody going. So it's really lovely that, you know, you're inspired by Ruth's energy, and but actually I wanted to reflect back to you that you've got that part of you. Yeah. So thank you for always bringing that to SOFEA. It's amazing. And for those of you that listening that don't know, Ruth is one of our co-founders and was Jake's English and maths teacher way back in the day. Amazing. Just to finish off, Jake, if people are wanting to donate to your fundraiser and support you, how can they get in touch?
There will be a little link at the bottom, so if you guys want to donate, please do, because we've all been through a tough time. We've all been through COVID together. We've all been through the flood together. If we can donate, SOFEA would be a whole different community afterwards.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the SOFEA Sessions podcast. It's been so lovely to talk to you. We don't often get this time just to sit down and chat, do we?
No.
You know, in the busyness of day-to-day work and life. Yeah. So thank you for sharing your story.
That's fine.
It's an amazing, reflective piece. I think it's amazing what you're doing for the community. Wonderful, how far you've come. And it's been a real pleasure to see you on that journey. And much more to come, I expect.
Thank you.
Great, well, thank you very much. A huge thank you to Jake for coming on to the SOFEA Sessions podcast today. It's really lovely to hear your story. I feel like I've known you for a long time, but I feel like I know you a little bit better after today. As always, if you want to get in touch, you can email us at wellbeing@sofea.uk.com, or you can click on any of the links in the description box below. Please do like, share and subscribe, and if you want to support any of the work that SOFEA does, whether that be donation, volunteering or collaboration, please do visit our website www.sofea.uk.com.